And today I'm coming on to create another project using my August Use It or Lose It stash. And for this creation, I'm going to create these little circle tags. You could also use these as embellishments. So I've created 2 tags already, and then the other 2 I'm going to create as embellishments. That way you can see the versatility. You could use them as putting them on a Christmas card. You could hang these on a Christmas present and put your information on the back. So many different ways to use these little creations. So these are the first 2 I use. I use some scrap trim and a wooden snowflake, and then my Christmas tree here, as you can see, is a little lopsided, but that's okay. So I used a bunch of my chipboard, some gems, some pom-poms. And this one, I used some more chipboard, this little glittered snowflake, and then I used some different trim here as well, more pom-poms and more gems. So I have one already punched out in the scallop, but we need to punch out a circle one together. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat and keep the green with the snowflakes. And I cut out 2 of them because this paper is white on the back, and I also wanted to make these sturdy, especially if you're using them as a tag. You want to make sure they're nice and sturdy, but for an embellishment, of course, you could just use one, but this paper's kind of flimsy, so I felt like I wanted to make sure that it had some substance to the backing of my embellishment. All right, let me unclog my glue here. All right, so let's just add these 2 together. Of course, if you have a pattern, you want to make sure you're putting them on the right way so you don't have stripes going this way and then stripes going this way. So be mindful of that when you're putting your 2 pieces together. But snowflake one didn't matter at all. So I am going to be using these snowflakes that I just recently pulled out to add to my Christmas stash. I've got some trim scraps here. I've got my little bucket of trims, and then I have this like mesh stuff as well. And then I'm going to be using my foam tape. Of course, I use my 2.5-inch circle punch. My hot glue gun is on, and I use some of my Barely Art glue. And then it's going to be little things like gems and pom-poms. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, since I'm not punching holes in these, I feel like I can make these a little larger. Like I don't have to worry about covering up the hole. So I wonder if we want to use this door and use the door, and let's see what else. I think this Merry Christmas. Yeah, that's a little big, but we could use that. I'm trying to use as much of this chipboard as I can. All right, maybe we'll put that in the background. Then we'll do the door. All right. And then I do feel like we're kind of missing something there. Maybe some sort of sentiment, but this is just a little too big for there. So let's do that with this one. We'll use this. And then let's do... maybe we'll do this. And I think that's a little too big, yes. What about these presents? What if we put the presents in the background? Something like that. All right, so I think we're going to start with that. But let's go ahead and grab one of these snowflakes. So maybe we'll use one of these snowflakes here. Or actually, I kind of like it without the snowflake. So you know what? We're going to put this down first. And I'm just going to go ahead and use my hot glue gun. And we're going to add some of the lights here. And then we're going to just trim that. All right, there we go. We have a little bit left if we want to use it on another project. And then this one, we'll use this. Let's go ahead and add down some of this white trim that I have. And I'm kind of scrunching this trim together so it's not so wide. So let's do that, and then let's lay this snowflake down. All right, and then we're going to need a little piece of foam tape in that corner. Let's test this out. Yeah. All right, so let's put a little piece of the foam tape. Put our presents down. And then I think we'll just layer this on instead of popping this up anymore. We'll add a little bit of foam tape up towards the top. And we'll do something like that. Awesome. Okay. And then for this, we're going to need a piece of foam tape at the bottom here. All right, that looks good. And there's our door, and we have a little bit of the garland showing in the background. And I feel like this needs to be trimmed a little bit. All right, and then for this one, I think we'll add this scrap of this burlap ribbon right here. And I need to find something to go here. Oh, this might be perfect. This is There's No Place Like Home for the Holidays. And if I don't want to leave it as a tag, I think it might be okay as a tag. Let me put some twine in this. And then we are going to pop that up. So let's add a little bit of twine. We're going to keep this as a tag because I like that look. And I'm going to kind of keep the twine short. And then we're going to need a skinny piece. That kind of covers up my lights up here, but that's okay. And then let's see, might need a piece up here as well. Okay, looks good. Now I didn't put any snowflakes in the background or much trim on this one, but I think it's okay to kind of switch up your designs and do something a little different each time. All right, and let's see, is that good? Yeah, I think that's fine. All right, now that we have that, I do have a little bit of this left over. Do we want to kind of incorporate that here? Yeah, let's go ahead. No little pieces left behind. And that snowflake, I got it right on top of that snowflake, of course, but it will be fine. And we will just do our best to kind of trim this off to the side. And then I'll probably end up, because I'm not liking that raw edge look on there, I might add a gem or something on top of that. All right, so this has got a sentiment, but this one doesn't. So we need to put a sentiment on that one. I really, really like putting sentiments on my embellishments and tags. Let's put that there. We'll do a big green one here. And we'll do a couple of these gems in different places. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to call this one done. So we have an embellishment here completed. And then for this one, I feel like, do we have any other little sentiments left on these? None on there. But I do have this. Let's see. What could we add on here? We have our presents. Let's do grateful. And I'm thinking we're going to just put grateful right there on the presents. All right, there we go. Now let's add some pom-poms. Let's do a little green. I think we're going to stick with little ones on here because it's kind of busy already. And my glue gun is dripping all over the place. let's see, do a gem there, and let's do a gem up in this corner here. Cool. I was able to use quite a bit of the chipboard I still had. This kind of looks like a door handle. Should have put it up a little higher. But we have created these two as an embellishment, and these are the two that I created in tag form. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching another video in my August Use It or Lose It series. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.